everyone, and welcome back to part two of Jade's interview. This part two, is more focused on her business called Pagkain Deco. I know I'm just saying Pagkain, but you guys probably need to know what it is. So Jade started the business here in Denmark as an international, as a Filipino coming to Denmark, of Filipino specialty food to sell in Denmark. So she kind of created a specialty grocery store specifically for Filipino food because there was during the time when she moved to Denmark and after her maternity leave, she couldn't really find Filipino food. Also, for me, when I first moved here in Denmark, it was difficult for me to find certain foods that I would find in the U.S. or I'm also Filipino, so certain foods that I miss. So when I met Jade, it was actually she just started, and I was so happy that she created this store specifically for Filipino food because all the stuff that she has in there is stuff that I grew up with, that my mom makes. So I'm so happy that she was able to start this. It was interesting how she got started, and this podcast is all about how she got started, how she got inspiration. Also, hoping that you, as an international, moving to Denmark, if you kind of know what you want to do, this podcast encourages you to kind of take the leap of starting your own business. That you see there's a gap in Denmark, which Jade actually saw that there's a gap in having Filipino food here, and she jumped on the opportunity, not knowing what she was doing, but was brave enough to actually start and learn as she go. It's so inspiring being able to interview her and her sharing her experience on starting the business in Denmark. So this part two was recorded another time. So if there's a little bit of mishaps on here, but it's really fun. So I'm really happy to be able to share her journey as an entrepreneur, as a startup business owner in Denmark. So here's part two of Jade's business, Pagkain.deco, about a Filipino store getting started in Denmark. So here you guys go. When you moved to Denmark, did you find it easy to get on your feet, find a job, just to integrate into Denmark?
Well, you know what? Actually, it's very different for me because my husband, he's a businessman. He have a
Yeah,
cleaning company.
yeah,
So it was not like I have to do this and I have to do that. I did not have that thing that I have to go and do all these things. It was different for me. It was only, I think, after I got Cyrene, after, we had the Barcel. What's that in English? I'm not sure.
oh, maternity leave.
Maternity leave.
Yeah,
Yeah. After the maternity leave, not after, but when we see that, okay, what should I do? And then that time, there was not too much Filipino stores in Denmark. It was so hard to get even pancit canton.
yes.
um, it was very hard to find all these things. So my husband said, "Why don't we sell Filipino products?" And then there was this. This is very funny. There was this Filipino store. What is that in English? The Granson. After that's in Germany. In
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. The
yeah,
border
so there was
stores,
a Filipinos.
the
Yeah,
border
there
stores.
was the border.
Uh,
Yes, yes. After the border, sorry.
no, it's okay. I
So
speak the English all the
after
time.
you know, it's so hard, especially if you are in Denmark and you don't know if you're thinking English, Tagalog, and I also have my own dialect, Ilocano, right? So
Yeah,
also at home, Mama, what are you trying to say? You can do that
yeah.
because all the minor. But then anyway, I'm going back to that point. We were there, and then we said, okay, why don't we try? Why don't we just what you call this one? Why don't we just buy some products and maybe we can sell it in Denmark? So you know how much we started? It was Pagkain DK before that.
Yeah,
We started 3,000 kroner,
yeah.
and I could still remember this place we have at home where I put all the 3,000 kroner in that place, and yeah, that's how it started actually.
Since your husband was into business, already had a business, the idea came in, especially, and you're right, because I also moved here
The,
almost 9 years ago. It was, you
mm,
couldn't find anything like Asian food or Asian ingredients or anything. It was really, really difficult. I actually lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, that's
the
good.
first the first 3 years, and then I discovered Danish pastry, which went the other way. But that's really great that you were able to kind of see that. I guess my next question is, the audience doesn't really know what you do. So if you want to do an introduction on what you do, what you started in Denmark, and your experience in starting, a kind of a store, a specialized
Yeah.
store in Denmark.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I have Pagkain DK. I don't know if you on Facebook.
I'll
Basically,
link
that's
it.
the one we started. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pagkain DK, which basically sell. I always say this, even to 95% Filipino products. That's what we are. There are quite a few of Asian store, but I don't call our store an Asian store because I really want to call it Filipino store because it's 95% Filipino. The thing is, I have a few maybe from Cambodia, which is the rice. Of course, the rice is we cannot import that right now. But yeah, what was that again about how we started or
Yeah, how did you start? You said that you started with 3,000 kroner in Germany, and then from there you kind of see how
oh
where it
yeah.
went.
Yeah, well, it was also because that time I have some friends from the language school, and they said,
Yeah,
"Oh, Jay, why don't you start selling and all these things?" So that's also how I got the idea. Okay, yeah, because it's really hard, and yeah, the 3,000, I put it at home in our garage and started, until now, I run our business through Facebook. So I'm really, really also very happy that we have Facebook. Otherwise, if there's no Facebook, there's no Pagkain DK.
yeah,
But yeah, that's how I did. I write to some of my Filipino friends, and then also their friends who know they have friends and the one they know, and that's how also we started having the business. And of course, I got a big help from my husband.
yeah.
He has his business of the cleaning business for 25 years this year now. So he know a lot about business and everything. Cleaning and then food, they are
Too
completely
different. Yeah,
different business, right? So we also have to learn a lot, especially when we started to do the import export thing. So yeah, we have, and now we already changed the concept because when I started I used to work like 6 days a week and from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock in the evening.
I think that's when I met
I
you.
mean
When
in the afternoon.
I stopped by
I
your
know, right?
store,
Yeah, yeah. I
and
can
then you
never
had an
forget that
opening
with
time every day from like
yeah, with your
10 to
mom, and
2.
then you were
Yeah, with
coming
my
with your
mom.
mom, right? So yeah, and then after a while when we had that, and sitting there and waiting for customers to come, and especially when it's raining like right now, when it's snowing, and also when the weather is very nice, everyone is on they are going on holiday and all these things. It's like, what am I doing here waiting for nothing, right? So after a while, I think it was it 2.5 year that time with Pagkain DK, and I said I'm going to take a break. I'm going to pause and maybe, and actually that time I really did not had a plan to come back. It was really
Mhm.
like I got tired, and Cyrene was growing up.
Yeah.
She was small, and I could see I don't have too much time with her, and even on the weekend we have to work, right? So I really got tired, and I said I want to stop for a while. So we sold all our products to someone, and then when the parcel is coming after
Yeah.
the parcel, I'm sorry, I think I mix up with the parcel with the sound with the other one.
The maternity leave.
Yeah, with the maternity leave, it was the idea of the import export after the
Ah, okay.
maternity leave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pagka indicate it started exactly when we say, okay, there was no Filipino stores in Denmark. We cannot get any Filipino products. We have to have a way where we can have all these nice products from the Philippines.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanna, because the timeline, I'm also confused now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's been a
I got
while. You've been going how
I
many
got
years
mixed up.
now? How many
Yeah,
years now?
9 years. The pagkain is 9 years. If I mean, technically, it's 9 years because I stopped for 1 year. I think it's 9 years this year. Next year, it's going to be 10 years. Yay!
Yay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Such a
yeah.
big
So
accomplishment.
I mean, of course, I know it's super nice also to be staying in this kind of business, especially right now. There's a lot of businesses that are closing, right?
Yeah.
Um, it's not easy. We know that, especially with what happened with the corona and everything.
Hmm.
It's not getting easy. So yeah, it's a very nice thing to be able to be on the ninth year
Yeah.
in the business now. So as I was saying, we sold the products. I tried to solve the business, but then anyway, it was only the products that they
Yeah.
wanted to buy, right? So
Yeah.
they bought the products. We signed contracts and everything,
Yeah.
and then after a while, when Chuba said, "Okay, I think, what do you think about going back to business?" I said, "Oh no, no, I don't want to stay there for 6 days a week anymore. I don't want to do that anymore." And then
Yeah.
my husband said, "What if I have another concept? What if we will do this? What if we will just have a concept where we are only open once a week?" I said, "Okay, that might be a good idea."
Yeah.
So and then we tried it, and then it was actually very nice because I get to do all the things that I really want to do first. Also, I mean, and then I still get to sell all these Filipino products, right?
Yeah.
And then in I think September 2019,
Yeah.
we had our first container from the Philippines
Yeah.
because we said, and actually right now we are concentrated on sending Filipino products in the whole Europe now.
Yeah.
So it's very nice. We just had an inquiry from Finland. In Ireland, we have two stores now having our products. In Norway, we have a lot. Italy, we have a lot. Sweden, Prague, it's very nice. So it's that's what we wanted to concentrate now. That's why we said, okay, now instead of opening every week, every weekend, we said we are going to concentrate on just maybe open once a month.
Yeah. And it
So
seems
we
like
still
your focus is more on distribution in EU and more than having
wholesale.
a store a front end store
Yeah, yeah,
that public
exactly.
can come.
Well, actually, my husband is saying, why don't we just concentrate on the wholesale? But, I also have a lot of loyal
Customers.
customers
Yep.
who I know that they will be sad if I'm going to stop. Because sometimes I also talk to my friends and I say, "What do you think? I'm going to stop?" And said, "No," because there are actually quite a lot who wants me to sell online. And I said, I don't think I can do that because of all the paperworks, with the wholesale and everything. I don't think I can have that. When people are ordering online, they would expect the orders to come after 2 or 3 days, right? And well, I have to drive here to prepare the orders and
Hmm.
everything. So I don't know, and a web shop, I don't think it's a good idea. Maybe that's why I also just sometimes when I feel that I have a little time, I just announce it on Facebook that, you know what, you can order with me. Just send me your order list on the messenger, and then I can process the order for you. That's
Yeah.
just basically.
And then they come
So
pick it up.
no, I send it with PostNord actually. No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
GLS now. I use
TLS.
GLS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But sometimes I also say, I have this like a VIP thing. If, for example, they want to come to the store and I'm not open, I'm not open every day. If they want to come to the store, then they could just I send me a message, and then we can check if we are both available at that time, and then they can come and shop
Yeah.
VIP,
The
right?
VIP. Yeah.
Then
That's
they
a
all
really good
they all have
concept
the time.
though.
They can just have all the time to shop. So
But if
that's
you
also possible.
Yeah, but if you look at it as a business, you keep evolving and learning what your customer wants. So you're so specialized because now you have your kind of your community, correct? In
Yeah,
Denmark, that's your constant customer, and if you can
yeah,
just keep them happy, you're still afloat, but also you have your other side, which is the distribution side of Filipino food in all of Europe. So you have
Yeah,
like two of both worlds, which a lot of suppliers, because I'm on e-commerce, I'm in distribution,
yeah.
outside of
So okay, so
podcasting, outside of
yeah,
podcasting, my real job, because this is all for hobby, is distribution, and you are lucky enough to have both,
yeah.
loyal customers, and yeah, loyal customers, and also with everything going on.
But that's how it should be. We wanted to make both of our customers happy. We wanted to make our wholesale customers happy, and of course, I also want because I know the feeling before that oh, it's so hard, and getting Philippines is also cost a lot of money, right? If you want to order from the Philippines, send it here and everything, right? So that's why I don't think I'm going to give up on the Danish customer. I love them.
No, I don't think you
Yeah,
should, because they were your first customers,
yeah,
and
exactly.
I noticed that with you, it was word of mouth. It's really word of mouth, your business, and
Yeah,
not a lot of
and
people
I'm
have
very
that.
thankful of that. I'm
Yeah,
I'm very thankful for that, actually.
we
You know
spread.
someone who knows someone who knows someone.
We have really good
Some
marketing ability.
Yeah, it's really nice, right? In a positive way. It also can be on the negative way, but I'm so happy.
Yeah,
It's very nice.
yeah.
Yeah,
For any, it's scary starting a business, especially in a foreign country. What gave you the courage to kind of just, see where this goes? You started with 3,000 kroner, which is amazing, and then built from there and kind of proved the
yeah,
concept. What gave
yeah,
you the courage to, then open the store and then do the distribution? And now, like, it feels like every year you go step forward. So
yeah.
what gave you the courage to start
I
this?
would proudly say that would be my husband.
Yeah.
Of course, he's a businessman. He knows a lot of things, but of course, it's a very different concept, right? It's a food business, wherein he is in the cleaning business. So it's completely. We are learning, especially with the export and import right now. There's still a lot of new things we are learning, but sometimes there is just also I would say, oh, I don't want this anymore. Oh,
Yes.
if I just sometimes I just want to pull the plug and say I'm over and done with this. I don't want it anymore. But it's always my husband is he is very supportive. I could really say he is very good in all this. We have to do this, and then we have to sit down and okay, we are planning what is the best, and we talk. That's also good. That's a very good thing because we talk about things. We talk how to do things better, how to improve things, and all this. So yeah, that's basically a very big help for me. Also, of course, my family in the Philippines, they are the ones who are giving us all this. Oh, I have to do this.
Yeah, and
So
really
yeah,
important to have that support,
yeah,
for any entrepreneur, anyone starting a business. If you don't have that support, especially with your family, your husband, your spouse, your partner, and then family outside of that, it's really hard to start anything. And then also having a really good concept of, a missing something missing, because in Denmark it was missing Asian food, these things that we are used to growing up with, that's easy accessible. Filipino food in general, for me, I was miss it. I had to learn it to cook it, because there's not so many Filipino restaurants here, but they are popping up. They are popping up, not in Violet where we're at,
yeah,
but
exactly. Yeah.
Copenhagen, Aarhus.
I also I this is also how I learned. When I first met my husband, I told him I cannot cook. I don't know how to cook.
Yeah.
And it was correct. Or because I have been living with my sister, with my family and everything, so they always had to cook. And then when I moved to Denmark, I don't have any choice but to do the cooking. And then when I'm cooking, now my husband said, I thought you could not cook. So it means we are also we are
Learning.
also improving on that on that matter, yeah.
Yeah.
But you are right. I am also happy that there are a lot of more Danish who are beginning to learn about the Filipino, not cuisine, but Filipino products, Filipino food, also in my area here. When I'm open, they are so, my neighbors here, they are so like curious what's going on in there, why there's a lot of cars. And so there will be some of them that's coming, oh, so what's going on in here and everything. So I have to explain to them, we are a Filipino store, we sell 95% Filipino, and I have these things and all. And then last time I was so happy because there was what you call the one, there was a Danish customer who was buying this.
Yeah.
This is what you call this one, a noodle.
Yeah, the pancit
And then
noodles or just noodles.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just noodles. So she just wanted to try it, and I said, "Yes, of course." And I was telling them you could find some recipes on the internet, and of course you can. But I'm so they love this one. So yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Eventually they will learn also about our food, right?
Yeah. And I
Because when
think
you say, yeah, no problem.
no, I just said, and when it's presented to them, or there's so many more cultures coming here in Denmark, I think it kind of not forces them, but kind of intrigue. And also the taste is so
Mhm.
different from Denmark. I think it's more taste besides salt and pepper. I think
Yeah,
their
yeah.
taste buds are expanding too,
Because Thai food, they know that.
and they say
But when you
spicy.
say,
Ours is not
yeah,
spicy.
yeah. But then when you say Filipino food, what is
Hmm.
Filipino food, right? So we really, that's also what I wanted. We wanted. So it's not only in Denmark, but the whole Europe that they will get to learn our Filipino food, Filipino products, right? So yeah, that's our goal.
What was one thing you know now that you wish you knew when you first started this business, with Pagkain first and then with the distribution that you can tell yourself 9 years ago?
That that's one thing when I see the questionnaire that you sent me, I was thinking, what can I say about this one? The thing is, I grew up in a business, not world, but my parents, they're both business, businesswoman, businessmen. So I grew up knowing about a little about the business in the Philippines. They used to sell what you call this one, kitchenwares and everything.
Yeah.
So when I was in high school, I would go to their store after school and I would help them and everything. So it's not something new for me, and I also have seen the struggles they have encountered when they had this business. So when I said, when I'm going to have my own business, or eventually later on, I said I'm not going to do those things that they did, that I thought it was so hard.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm going to say that I wish I knew before, because I also have quite a few ideas how it is to be when you have a business. What I can say is that I have learned some things
Yeah.
when I actually I had this business. Well, the thing is, I think what I can say is, when you have a business, you don't have to when you want something, when you want to start the business, for example, don't worry about too much about how others will think about you. You just have to concentrate on what you're doing, focus on what you want. That's very important, and mind your own business.
Yeah.
That's, and do your best, and then and be happy of what you are doing, because whatever the other people think about you is none of your business. You just have to make sure that what you are doing is good and correct, and that you are happy about it. I think that's a very good, because sometimes when we do something, we are very focused on, how are how are they going to think about that, what
Yeah.
are they going to say about that, am I doing good enough, especially with the social media right now.
Yeah.
We are living in a social media world where we are so focused on likes and all these things, right? And sometimes all this is very stressful. It makes us depressed, So that's why it's very important to not focus on those things. And as long as you know that you are doing good, you are doing the right things, then I think you are good.
And I
Yeah.
think that's what scares a lot of people to start a business. I know it comes on me. I started my blog website, and it's not so much a business, but my fear of moving that forward to a business is more on what people think. It's like, how about if I
Yeah.
fail? Or
Yeah.
what are they gonna think of me? I was like, now Jacqueline's starting a business again, or like I think a lot of
Of
people have to
course, it's
block that.
scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, it's scary. But you know what? Don't think about these things. Even if we say you fail, then try again.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt you to try again, right?
Yeah.
It's just make you better. I think in the long run, then oh, okay, I learned from this, and that's also one thing. When you learn from things, right?
Yeah.
At least you learn from those things, and then move forward. That's important, right? So yes, uh, yeah,
What tips do you think, like, if it's an international, especially moving into a new country, it's scary to learn a new language, and now they're like, okay, now I'm going to start a business in a new country that I don't speak the language in, or I don't understand the culture. What do you think they can kind of do to get over that hump of, okay, I'm going to start a business, I know it's a different country. What steps can they take, or tips that you can give to them, especially that are just starting out or thinking about of doing something?
of doing something.
Yeah.
Well, the most important part is do your research. You especially here, if it's the business food you wanted to start with, they have a very strict rule when it comes to food. So you really have to research about all these things. I think also every comuna they have great help when it comes to this. There are some workshops.
Hmm.
I think you just have to go to if you can go to the comuna or research there. And there are some like some a lot of things for startups. In for example, in Violet there is what you call this one. There is this thing called Green Startup Violet.
Hmm.
I'm not sure, of course, if they're living in different part of Denmark, then there should be something for them, right? Or there's something called Ivexet of Vejle 6, where there are like they are helping 60 startup to I think there is also like there's a place for them, like there is an office where they can help each other and all these
Yeah.
things. So yeah, that would be the and one more thing is you have to do it right.
Mm.
Don't just start like in if you want to start the food business, you have to register your business first. You have to know all this of these things so that you don't get yourself into trouble later on,
Yeah.
right? So research, and it's a very big help to get help from the husband or from
Yeah.
the family. That's
Yeah.
on my experience, actually, that's really really a great help for me, because a supportive husband is a long it will get you long way, it's but then of course if you will say, oh yeah, but I'm alone, uh, the network also, ask, don't be shy, don't be scared to ask if you have, I think job something, because I did not have that. There is someone who is helping you in the commune or something like that. Ask from them. I think Danish also, I they are so in when it comes to that. As long as you ask, as long as you wanted to, you tell them their plan and everything, they will be very happy to help you. They will be very glad to help you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I found that out about Denmark when I looked into a lot of things, that there is support there.
Mm.
Starting a business, they're really business friendly here.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
easy to actually start a business in Denmark with like 1 kroner,
Mm.
depending on what business. So
Yeah.
definitely, I realized even going to the commune and asking for help to get
Yeah.
guidance. So any commune, I think, will
They
have,
are very helpful,
yeah,
really.
it's not
Yeah.
just Violet,
And
but
then
it's all of the commune,
yeah.
around Denmark, more or less.
Yeah. You just go to the commune, and then they will help you. You just tell them your plans and everything and all this. So yeah, uh,
Do you think
I don't think.
besides, rules and regulation, I know you have to follow them, and tax and everything. Do you think language is a big factor in starting a business? Does all of the
Well,
internationals
that
need to know Danish, or can they do it like your store is Filipino store, but all the Filipinos there actually speak Danish, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. But then again, as I was saying, it depends on what kind of business you wanted to venture in, right? Because for me, I did not had a problem with the language, but of course, when a Danish comes in, and they know that you are not from they know that you're not Danish, then most of them they are willing to talk to you in English. But for I can say that for me on my case in my case, the language was not too much of a barrier. But of course, if you are, I don't know if it's a clothing business, then we are in a very different story, right? If you
Yes.
wanted to have a business in Destroy It, for example, and what you call open up a shop, a new shop there, and all these things, then if it's open to everyone, then we can say language would be a very big factor. So you really have to learn. That's also one thing that I did here. As soon as I get here, I took the opportunity to get to learn the language. I have finished the language in that 1.5 year, I think.
Yeah.
So you have to start from there. That's basically for us here of foreigners. We really have to learn their language, and then later on, and of course, we need these ones because of our. Otherwise, we cannot. Especially if we have family here, then we cannot
Yeah.
stay here if we don't learn the language.
Yeah.
So of course, the language is very very important. But the business that I am in right now, especially that I am dealing with customers around Europe, English is also very important
Yeah.
because, yeah, for example, the one in Finland, the one in Ireland, the one, you know, I have quite a few who are not Filipinos.
Yeah.
Um, then you need to also speak English, right? Otherwise, how can you communicate? So yeah,
Yeah.
language is very important for that matter. No matter what, I mean, it's Danish, Filipino, or English, right? So
Yeah, and I guess
yeah,
we're lucky enough to live in Denmark, where English is actually the second language besides German.
yeah,
And everyone's English here is very, very strong, but it
mm,
does show uh the way a person is, especially when we learn the Danish language. It shows
yeah,
more of like, oh wow, she's actually really trying to
mm,
live here, adapt here.
yeah.
For me, I'm still in language school. After 8 years living here, I still haven't completed it, but it is my last. I'm a module 5 now, so I plan to complete it now. But I speak
But then of
Danish.
course,
Yeah, I speak Danish, and I
also
understand.
also because of your work, right? That's
Yeah,
why. Because for me that time, I mean, when I moved here, I did not have the baby. Of course, that's also one factor that maybe the time you spend on in the language school is not only that time that you are given. There's also a lot of factor, but yeah, as long as you are doing it and you are trying to do something about it, then that's also one thing, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I can say when I'm speaking with Danish, and then they will ask, how long have you been here and everything, and then they, du taler godt dansk. Are you speaking? I don't think I do. I said, no, I don't think I. But they said, no, yes, you are. Oh, okay, thank you so much. But
yeah.
it's also, I mean, it also warms the heart for that. But I
Yes,
don't think I speak the Danish fluent. No, I don't think so. But as long as you understand and they can understand you, that's important, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
as soon as you say, like for me, I would say like, yeah, I could talk a little bit Danish, and when I say a little bit, they switch to Danish right away. I'm like, okay, I have to like switch brain, okay, and like
But
speak in Danish.
it's also a very good practice when you talk to the kids in Danish.
No, my kids correct me, so I
Yeah,
feel like I'm
yeah,
younger.
yeah, it's the same thing. And then sometimes, when they say some things, and then they say, "What was that again? What was that in English?" And my daughter is also very helpful. Oh, Moa did that, or
Yeah,
okay, tak.
yeah. It's
So
like do for cat. I'm
yeah,
like okay. So I
yeah,
get Danish lessons from my daughter. My
yeah.
son's not quite, he still speaks English. But my daughter definitely corrects me. Or if I try to talk to her friends, she's like, "Oh, mom, you're saying that all wrong." I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm trying."
Yeah, as long as we are trying, I think,
Yeah.
yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah.
But if there is any tips you would suggest or want to say to anyone that's thinking about, entrepreneurship or starting a business in Denmark, what would be your tips to, anyone that wants to do a specialty store like yourself, or a bookstore, or just anything, or a bakery shop, or just a small little company. What do you think would be your tips on how to get started doing a business in Denmark?
Well, I mean, as I have been saying, you do have to do your research
Hmm.
and go to your commune and talk to them and say behandler. That's what they say. I think
Hmm.
you have to talk to them, and then they can help you, of course. And you have one thing I think it's important is you have to build your network because it's a very very big help,
Mm.
right? Because the network later on will help you, and of yeah, that's basically it. As I was saying, also you have to research all this business help in your community where you live. Google is a very good friend,
Yes,
you can always Google it out. Okay, oh yeah, and of course, uh,
money and
network,
networking and
network,
um,
yeah, and of
and
course your husband if you have a
yeah,
husband, your
just
partner,
yeah, your
yeah,
partner or just a support system and everything would be
exactly,
great.
support system is one of the biggest factor, of course, right?
And I
Because
agree with
without
the
them,
yeah, I agree with the network part,
yeah,
is because especially with internationals, even Filipinos or internationals that just moved to Denmark, there's Facebook groups that you just ask for help and there's like 10 people that answer,
yeah,
or it's I'm starting this business, and they're always there to support, because we're all, I guess, in the same boat as a foreigner here in Denmark, just
yeah,
trying to get by. Something easy
yeah.
for one person that's been living here for 10 years or 5 years is not that easy for someone that just moved here. It's like, oh, I didn't know that. Like it's still like a
and
learning curve.
and of course we are all different from each other, right? And the other one always knows some things that we don't know. So ask. That's very important. Just ask. Don't be scared to ask. You will get a no, but you ask. You have done your part, right? So yeah, that's that's very important. Yeah.
We're going to wrap up this conversation now. I know we could talk a lot, and I told you, you're like, yeah, we could do it under 40. I was like, no, because it won't be under 40 minutes, because you do get into your story, and you do get into your passion about starting the store, and it's fun to go down memory lane a little bit on sharing
Yes.
your
Yes.
sharing your
Yes.
story to the audience, and so Thank you for taking the time to, share your story with the listeners here on My Kids Think I'm Cool But podcast. Before we do end, I wanted to ask you for my website to help international families get adapted or just settle into Denmark. What are like your two favorite kid-friendly places to take your kids? It could be a resort, a trip, or even just like a simple playground that's around Violet, or a restaurant that you think it would be perfect for families to go to.
Well, for me, our favorite part. Have you been to Tirsbeck?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah. We love walking there, and of course, my favorite spot is the Weide Duurhaven.
yeah, Durham. Yeah,
Yeah, we love it there. Especially during when there's a lot of snow, it's very picturesque. And then when you go to the other side, it's the Albuen. You know that
yeah,
already, right? And then you get very nice view of the nah, not the five sisters, but the but the Berlin, right? The
yeah.
wave.
The waves.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, we love going there when it's sunny. It's always nice. Whether no matter what the weather is, it's always nice. And in the summer, they have very nice ice cream. It's always a hit for Serena. She loves there. Oh,
yeah,
can we go there? And so that's basically the Tearsbeck and the Violet Heaven, which
yeah,
is connected to the not connected, but it's just very nearby to the Elbow, right?
yeah,
If you don't know that yet. Do you know already the Ecloriot also in the
yeah,
city?
yeah. That one,
Yeah, it's
the
also a
free
very good
area.
place for the kids. It's very also a good place for the kids. So I think, and of course we have a lot of places in Violet. We also have the Yelling. It's also very nearby
Yeah,
the Violet. So yeah, we love walking here, not necessarily exercise and everything, but just to have a nice walk with the kids. You get them to the museum, and I'm talking about the Violet not the Violet Museum, but the
yeah.
Yelling what you call this? I'm talking about the what's that again? What's that? It's called Yelling.
The yelling Viking is. I've
Yeah, the
never
Viking
been.
Museum, right?
There's a couple things there for.
Yeah, the Viking Museum. And when you go to the other side, you can also walk around there where you
Yeah,
get to the Bakke and everything, right?
yeah,
So, yeah, we have quite a few. That's why I also love Denmark. There's a lot of nice places to go, especially free places. You don't have
yeah.
to pay anything just to get there. So, yeah, those are
And
the
yeah,
few of our favorites. Yeah.
yeah, and the reason actually why I created it's called Kiddly is because moving here in Denmark, especially if you have a family or if you're just a first time parent, you don't know
Yeah.
any of these secret places like Tiersbeck or yelling like it's just something you don't know of, and you
Especially
can't
if you
Google
are
it.
Yeah, especially if your husband is not Danish. Of
Yeah.
course, I know these places because my husband is a Danish.
Yes.
Oh, there is also one place where, where it's like an old supermarket, not a supermarket, but an old. I don't know if you have been there already,
No.
but normally when we have a guest from different places, that's where we Engelsholm. You know that already,
No.
Engelsholm Castle.
No. Where's
I
that
think,
at? Something
yeah,
new for me.
yeah. They have a. Oh, I have to.
Send me the link, and then
Yes,
I'll
I
link
will.
it on my website and everything.
I think the other one I'm talking about is the Ran Van Brugge Museum. I will definitely
Yeah,
send
send
that
me
to
the
you.
link and I could share it with the audience,
Yes,
where they can
yes,
take
yes,
their
yes.
family and kids.
Free. You don't need to pay anything,
Yeah,
right?
and that's
It's
the
the
thing.
most
Like,
important part.
it's so great because Denmark has so many free things, and that's another reason why I put this website together, is because when you're not from here and you come here to live or visit, you don't know any
Mhm.
of this stuff. It's like when you put things to do in Violet, waves,
Yeah,
it's like five things, but it's so generic, but there's actually way
yeah,
more things that's actually known locally by
yeah.
people, and that's why I actually created this, where people actually share their favorite places to go to.
actually here, just where our store is, we are very nearby the zoo,
Yeah.
the Yelling Zoo. Do you
Yeah.
know that already? Yeah. So yeah, there's really quite a few places here you could enjoy a nice, for example, a nice summer day, or if you just want to walk and everything, you know.
Yeah.
So don't forget, don't worry, I'm going to send
Yeah,
the
send me those links and I'll add it on the website.
yes, yes,
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing your favorite places to take your family and your kids. I'm pretty sure my audience will be very appreciative of that. Especially, I found out something new, so that's something I will be
yeah.
visiting. Any last words before we end the interview?
Well, no, nothing. I just also want to say thank you so much for having me. I know we have talked about this for a very
Yes.
long time. It's finally, right? Well, it has been years, right? And
Yeah.
you know, there had happened a lot of things, and then the corona came and everything. But I really also want to say thank you so much, and I could also want to share this to my network later on
Yes.
when you're already done. So yeah, then we can help each other. You know,
Yes.
we are all foreigner in Denmark. So helping each other is a very great thing, right? We really have to help each other. There's no one who's going to help each other but us,
Yes,
right? So
definitely.
yeah,
And then I feel like sharing internationals or foreigners' story on here will help them feel at home more in Denmark, realizing what they're going through. It's like, okay, it's not me just thinking that Danes are very cold.
Ex- yeah,
You
I
know?
think you know what, I think they know that also. They
Yeah,
just cannot do, and that's this. It's like that's how it is. It's like us being Filipino, being too friendly. That's also how it is, right? So I mean, that's that's just how it is.
yeah,
It's upon us. It's just up to us how we are going to break that wall, right? So you know, we just have to talk since they approach, right, right.
yeah,
If we have if we for example, yeah, for foreigners like us, don't be scared to approach the Danes, because I think, you know, basically is you have to do it first, because then they are also then they can also talk to you. So there should be someone who will do it first, and if it's not them, then you should do
yeah.
it,
Then
you
it's
know,
us.
right? So yeah. Yeah,
Well,
but
thank you
thank you
so
so
much.
much.
And then I
Thank you.
will Facebook for Pakain and all the information on my website. So you guys can find her on all those links and follow her and check out her store, especially if you want to try some yummy Filipino food.
Thank you so much.
What do you guys think about that? I thought it was really interesting on how she and her husband went to the border store and bought a bunch of Filipino food just to test out if it works. And so and also that they just kind of learn as they go. They just took the leap to start the store and take it from there and how it's grown so much. Now they've become a distributor of Filipino food for stores all over Europe. And so you never know where you're going to end up when you know you just need to start. So it's really nice to hear that she's becoming successful, you know, getting new clients, and also with the clients now she has, or the customers that are constant buyers, there's VIP access. You can call her and get some certain foods, their specialties. So it's really nice that she actually was able to build this relationship with her customers, and also myself, because I also go to her shop and buy Filipino food that I miss. So thank you, Jade, for being a guest and talking about your journey as a parent, as a international here in Denmark, and now as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a startup, and share your journey with the listeners and other internationals, hoping that they will also find themselves here in Denmark. So thank you so much for sharing that. And then also now we are going to do a giveaway. All the details should be on the website. So if you guys want to win a basket of a Filipino food, if you're not Filipino and you want to try what Filipino food is, Jade will be giving away a basket of Filipino food for you to try. Or if you are Filipino, these could be your favorite snacks that could be in there. We're not sure what we're going to put in there, but we are going to announce the giveaway sometime this week. And also, the details will be on our Facebook pages, also Instagram, if you have TikTok. So everything will be on there, where we're going to tell you how to do the giveaway and how to sign up for that giveaway. I'm looking forward to that. So watch out for that. Follow us, both myself, My Kids Think I'm Cool, but podcast, and also Pagkain on Instagram or Facebook. Me, I'm in all channels of social media, so you can find me everywhere, YouTube, everything. Just subscribe, follow me. If you want to do a newsletter, you can sign up for my newsletter. There's a lot of things that you can follow me on. I'd be very happy if you did, but if not, no problem. And you're just listening to my podcast, it's all good. I'm just happy that someone's actually listening to me on the other side. So hello there. Anyways, if you want to get onto this giveaway of Filipino food, go on the website, follow us for more details. Thank you for listening, and look out for my next episode in April for a new guest, a new business, and a new story for you guys to enjoy. So, yeah, look out for my next episode in April. Bye, everyone.